All right, so our end of year special is underway. And Terence, what have you got for us this year?
Guys, I want to talk about the top 5 best comic book / superhero movies of 2012.
It's almost like you know our target audience.
And with us, as always, is Poinsettia. Because this is during the month of December, and this is kind of part of our multi-part unofficial Christmas special. So, I saw all the movies that I'm going to talk about in theater, and I thought what a great list this would make, but to make the list complete, I had to make a concession. The concession is a fair one, so it's a combination of 2 subgenres within a genre. So obviously they mostly fall into the action category, whatnot, but you have 2 different things. You have comic book characters that aren't superheroes, and then you have essentially superheroes that aren't comic book characters. So that's why I decided to fold the 2 of them together. So without any further ado, here's our top 5. Coming in at number 5, The Amazing Spider-Man. So the movie wasn't as bad as everyone said it was, but man, did they fuck up. Like, I'm sorry, they fucked up. I like how they, in one sense, went closer to the comic books in terms of Peter constructing his own web shooters, but then having muzzle flare kind of ruined it. And I'm not sure about the costume. The costume actually sucked. I would almost prefer the Japanese 70s TV show costume over this. Why? It makes real world sense. But why does he have little booties on his feet? I just don't get it.
When I saw some of the original pictures, the only thing I could think of was like the pajamas I wore in the 80s. That's all I can think about.
Got a onesie with a hood.
Yeah.
Way to go. Again, I liked how it followed the comic books a little more closely. It had Gwen Stacy in it. We spent some time, but essentially going through a slightly modified origin story that we had seen 10 years ago. Come on. I think where they dropped the ball is they had a villain in the movie. The Lizard felt very tacked on, and his motivations were pretty weak, you know? So, obviously this is dead in the water because the origin story is essentially done, and they're kind of taking this more, what happened to Peter's father? You know, ooh, mystery, intrigue. What they should have done is had the entire movie be an origin story to the point where there wasn't even a video. I find the most interesting parts about Peter Parker and Spider-Man is the interpersonal relationships that he has. And then combine that with him slowly over time developing his skills. It would have been nice to see him go through variations of costumes, like more variation. I just gotta let that breathe. I think that's the biggest problem with any origin story, is the fact that they try to cram too much in. They try to educate people as to where they came from and then throw a villain. Have faith in the material. I'd love to see an origin story that was nothing but an origin story. Coming in at number 4 is not going to be a popular choice, but this is my top 5, not yours. The Avengers. I was really looking forward to seeing the Avengers. And then I saw the Avengers. And then I was wholly underwhelmed by the Avengers. I swear to God, if the Hulk wasn't in this, and in it to the capacity that he was, I actually would put Spider-Man ahead of it. Not saying that it's a bad movie. I appreciated that the Josh Whedon, yeah, I want to get his name right, that they gave the project to him. It's a competent movie. It is a well-made movie. The special effects are great. All the iconic action scenes that you want to see are there. The, oh my god, what if Thor fought Captain America fought Iron Man is in there as well. Sorry for the spoilers. Oh yeah, spoilers. But my problem was...
I think everyone's seen it by now.
Yeah, judging by the box office numbers. But everyone's heralding it as the best thing ever. Problem is, I kind of watched and I'm like, really? Like, A, Loki's going to be the villain, and B, Loki's going to be the villain this soon after. I felt that with phase 1 of the Marvel movies, they just pushed too far into this. And then I dare anybody to watch the ending of Transformers 3. Did that even come out this year?
That was last year.
Well, whatever. Who gives a shit about that? But I dare you to watch the ending of Transformers 3 and watch the ending of the Avengers, and try to figure out which one's which when you take away, like, the Autobots and Decepticons, and the Marvel heroes. Like that giant thing flying through the city, like fuck man, it was like the same in both movies. At one point I'm kind of like, are they doing a Michael Bay thing and just reusing footage? I don't know, but I didn't set my expectations too high where I was let down. I just thought that they could have done more, and in terms of Hawkeye and whatever Scarlett Johansson's character was, like, just go away. Especially Scarlett Johansson's character. Like of all the Marvel characters they could have put, they had to choose like one of the most shallow represented in the movie characters imaginable. So I'm looking forward to phase 2, but coming in at number 3 was a surprise, and this is where I had to make one of the concessions. Chronicle. Chronicle is a story of 3 teenage boys that happen upon something that gives them something. Now, the great part about this is it's initially a lost footage, like a found footage project, but through a great creative decision, which I'm not going to give away, because there's not going to be much in the way of spoilers of this one, they got rid of any problem that you would have with found footage.
So it doesn't have the, like I haven't seen it yet, but first thing they said found footage, I think of Cloverfield and Blair Witch, where it's like, yeah, it's like jerky motion.
The most important parts of the movie don't have that, so that's great. Fantastic movie, and actually when I saw that and I saw the third act, I think the third act of Chronicle ruined the Avengers for me because it was so intense. I was like, man, like, it's too late for them to change what they did in the Avengers. Even though I hadn't seen the Avengers at that point, I'm like, this is revolutionary. And wow, truth be told, not really surprised that the director of Chronicle was throwing pretty much every superhero movie project in development in his face, and so he's locked on at this point to the Fantastic Four reboot. Really looking forward to that based off of the strength of this movie. And if we never see a live action Akira, watch Chronicle and pay attention to the third act, because it's seriously the closest that we may ever get to it.
I gotta go see it now.
Coming in at number 2, Dredd 3D. Holy fuck, was this movie awesome! The 1995 Judge Dredd with Sylvester Stallone, where Stallone always had his helmet off, was a fucking excuse. I don't even know what to say about it. It sucks.
Rob Schneider, it's like
I am the law! Everything in the 90s sucked, you know? Like, the 90s sucked. So, Dredd 3D was a low-budget movie, starred Carl Urban. To his credit, never once took his helmet off. So he had no ego in this at all. Not the, I need that one dramatic moment where I shed a tear and show that I'm a complex character. No, that motherfucker went around the entire time like this. And it was awesome. It was simple. It wasn't a, oh my god, we gotta save the city, we gotta save the world thing that seems in every comic book movie, with the exception of Chronicle, which isn't a comic book movie, but you know what I mean. They set it in a more of a microcosmic level. There's a big building, shit's going down. They gotta solve that shit. That is it. And it's fucking awesome. It looks beautiful. It's well acted. There's a couple of parts where some people may have small gripes with, but overall, solid. For me to say that a low-budget movie, two low-budget movies went over the Avengers says a lot. So definitely check out Dredd 3D. The number 1 movie, shock and awe, The Dark Knight Rises. It was phenomenal. I saw it twice in IMAX. Have it on Blu-ray. I'm gonna do a mini marathon and watch all the movies together. Really looking forward to it, guys. Seriously, I'm not even gonna talk about The Dark Knight Rises. If you haven't seen it, like, see it.
Yeah, I had, sorry to cut you off, I had said one thing after I had seen it, where I'd always had respect for Christopher Nolan because of the original Dark Knight movies and other things like Memento and things that he's done. I think this one now solidifies him as one of those directors like Ridley Scott, Akira Kurosawa, who they're just geniuses, absolute geniuses. And it's not just Chris also, it's also his brother, who has a huge hand in writing it and whatnot. Yeah, that to me, just that movie is like, that was the nail, or the final chisel in his tome that said, this guy is a bloody genius.
He's legit. And it's kind of funny because DC, we'll see what the Man of Steel is like in 2013, but DC has not had a good run with movies. And to have the Dark Knight trilogy like this, like Marvel may have more characters that they can put into movies that would be good movies. Sometimes you only need one horse. Well guys, that's the top 5. Love it, hate it. What's your top 5? Keeping my rules in mind.
Yep.
Put that below. We like to see what you got to say. I don't even know what to say. We're still kind of working on an exiting thing. Other than go watch those movies.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Go watch them.